Hello and welcome back to Crazy Cool Gaming. So, it's been a minute since I've played The Legend of Zelda and covered it for you guys. So, I'm not going to do a big in-depth intro today. What I'm going to be covering today is how many fights can you actually do against Ganon in real life without magic or anything like that. Just your pure strength, right? Like an average human being. So I'm going to be covering every Zelda game. And every Zelda game, not those weird spin-offs. But instead, games people actually remember. So I'm going to be covering about 6 Zelda games today. Also, I'm going to have to take some of my footage from other YouTubers. I'll leave a link in the description to their bio, and I will list who they are. Now for the first game, which had a Ganon fight, this is the original Legend of Zelda. Even though you do see constant fireballs and things like that, no magic is actually being used, besides the Master Sword and throwing projectiles. However, later in the fight, Link does beat it with just the normal sheer sharpness of the Master Sword. So I would say this is possible because all Link is using is a sword and a bow, which, if you didn't know already, is actually used in real life. When it comes to Link's Awakening, I do not think you can beat him without the use of magic, as Link uses a bunch of different glowing swords instead of normal swords, and he also uses these weird fire projectiles, so I don't think you're beating him. Now on to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I'll just let you watch it for yourself to explain why this just is not possible. I don't know about you, but that's an entire magic bow, and I'll go into even more depth why this is impossible. And then Link does this and rinse and repeat for literally an entire eternity until Ganon falls to the ground and the next next stage of the boss fight begins. Then Link grabs the Master Sword and he does this all over again, the same exact process, except now Ganon's striking down buildings. Then after all this, you do the final blow. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think our little guy can do the final blow. And after all this, Ganon is finally finished. Next, we have The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And actually, for the first beginning of the fight, it does look very, very possible. I'll let you take a look. And as you can see here, Link is using his bow, which is used in real life. And later, he also pulls out his sword, and I don't see any actual magic coming out of the Master Sword, so this part is definitely possible. Then Link just does the exact same thing. And, but then he does this, which may seem fine at first, but then he does this. And I don't know much about Twilight Princess, but I think this is required that this mechanic you have to do. So this is going to be impossible, sadly. Next, we have one of my favorites, Nintendo Switch's Breath of the Wild. And yes, I know I'm ignoring the other boss fights that you have to fight before this, but those are Ganon's minions, not Ganon itself. So, here you go. Yeah, that was a lot of cutscenes. Anyways, let's begin. With this being impossible, as I don't remember our little friend having supernatural abilities to slow down time and attack enemies. Okay, for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I tried getting to the Ganon and tried fighting him by myself without having to get footage, And I kind of died, and it made me think that I don't even think our guy can even get to Ganon. He doesn't even have a paraglider. He probably couldn't even beat the army. So I'm definitely making this one totally impossible. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'm glad we could continue this series going. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Crazy Cool Gaming.